and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800 or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Do you hide your smile because of chipped, stained, or uneven teeth? Or feel like your smile doesn't match the way you feel inside? This is Dr. Charles Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. We offer custom veneers, full mouth rehabilitation, and even Botox to help you look and feel your best. We combine our expert care and artistic skill to create beautiful, natural-looking results, all while keeping you relaxed and comfortable. Right, Matt?
Time to love your smile again. Call 479-646-0706 or visit rivervalleysmiles.com to schedule your consultation today.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increase in the cloud cover. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 80s. Chance of seeing some isolated showers or thunderstorms tonight, low 60s, and a 50-50 chance of showers and thunderstorms Friday, a high in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sacalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't.
About 6 feet or so away from Christian Johnston, and it's good to be with you today for halftime. Phil Elson here, if I didn't remember to say my name or anything like that. Feels like it's going to rain outside right now, boys. Just before we got on the air, let's open the windows, and we had some lightning. We had some thunderbolts right over top of the studios. So, hopefully we're going to be able to stay on the air, get to baseball today. Game day on the Hill, Matt. A big game day on the Hill. People have been sleeping in line for tickets in the Hog Pen. Well, I guess they already have their tickets, just their spot. It's kind of practice for a regional, practice for a hopeful super regional at Bowen Walker Stadium. And I want to put an APB out there for anybody who is in line at the Hog Pen. We want to hear from you and see what it's like out there. What are you eating? How are you sleeping? Are you able to sleep outside in like a tent situation with a bunch of people around you? Because that's not camping. Matt, I figure you're somebody who probably would enjoy camping and sleeping in the elements or at least close to it. But that's not the element. Sleeping on the street with a tent over top of you and a whole bunch of other people that you probably look at as compatriots all trying to sleep at the same time.
Well, good day. Yeah, I guess so. I can fall asleep anywhere, really. You ever go to to the grocery store this morning? I stopped at the grocery store before coming to work, and you're getting through the checkout line. Speaking of the 6 foot rule, and people just get right up by you. Like it's like all of a sudden, this is where you're just going to be like a close thing. Like, please, if I can reach out and touch you with my hand, you are too close to me when we're at the checkout.
Part of the problem is that people are very interested in what is in your cart. They want
broth, bananas, and water. That was about it.
Well, they're taking mental notes. They're looking at what's in your cart and thinking, gosh, look at that. That looks a little bit weird. And you can look in their cart and think the exact same thing.
I don't care.
I don't think you do. I think the only thing you'd want is for them to get 6 feet away and stop looking in your damn cart, for crying out loud.
The cashier is even too close.
Yeah, but she's interested in just having to move right along to the next person. Yeah, she's not making mental notes and judging him for what's in his cart. Yeah, that's what they're doing to you, Matt. They're judging you for what's in your cart.
That's fine.
That's all right, because that's right. You're going to judge a man who's eating in a very healthy manner. Forgot my broth for the trip to Fayetteville for this baseball series, man. I have to thank Matt because he handed me. He walked in with like a tree full of bananas. I mean, he's got like a whole bunch of bananas. I got 2 of them today. I've already eaten one of them. I guess I'll have another one later on in the show.
There you go.
Yeah, I forgot my broth. I could have had you bring some for me. And then every once in a while, when I show up for the show in studio here, I just get a health juice shot, which I didn't ask for today. It's okay, but I feel healthy anyway because I'm standing next to you, and that does it for me.
There might be one on the way.
Yeah. Game day on the Hill, 7:00 tonight. Arkansas, Tennessee. Get ready for the emotion. What is it about this matchup that makes it so emotional? Because it did not happen. It was not like this It was never like this with Arkansas, Tennessee in baseball. Literally never. Not even when Tony took over. You know what it took? It took Tennessee starting to win a lot of games. It took Tennessee becoming a national power and not even winning a national championship, just becoming a national power. That kind of was what brought it along. Maybe the color of orange, and then the emotion that they play with the guy who's the head coach, Christian.
And it's like polar opposites. Like the teams couldn't be more different as far as, I mean, talent-wise, they're the same, but like their personality, the coach's personality, they're both really good. They just both do it different ways. And, obviously the Vitello angle kind of beefs things up a little bit. But, it's just, it's going to be good baseball. You're going to get really good baseball.
Well, you're going to get good baseball, but you're good. But it's like this became a rival without them being in the same division and without them playing on an annual basis. And rivalries can't always stick around unless you play each other on an almost annual basis. Think of Missouri State. Arkansas baseball had a really good rivalry thing going there with Missouri State for about 4 or 5 years. And for all the picks that I see right now, they're going to be sending Missouri State to Fayetteville for a regional. So maybe the rivalry comes out once again from that. But they don't play each other every year, and certainly not in the games that have all the stakes. And play at a regional, play at a super regional. So that's always going to bring some emotion. The thing with Tennessee, it's just a perfect storm of all these things coming together, of a different way of how you go about your business, having the same, the relationship with the coaches and a new national power. But it all came to a head, Christian, in that one game. The one I'm talking about in Knoxville that closed out the series in 2021. Which, by the way, that 2021 series is the only time that Tennessee has won a game with Tony as the head coach against Arkansas. And that they're 9-1 against Tennessee with Tony as the head coach. And even the one loss, if I remember correctly, the Hogs had a 9th inning lead and couldn't hold on to it. So they're pretty close to being undefeated against Tennessee with Tony as the head coach. But it all came to a head in that face-to-face encounter with the masks over top their faces, right behind home plate on national television, and it got all of the. I mean, why wouldn't it? I mean, it's almost like a wrestling match between two tag team members that all of a sudden are now enemies, and they're fighting each other for a world championship. The thing is what you don't see behind the scenes when it comes to the wrestlers in WWE that are fighting on the ring. What are they doing afterwards? Well, they're having a drink together. They're in a lot of cases they are. I'm not saying that Tony and Dave Van Horn are having a drink together, but all that stuff that happened on camera, and they say the things that they say into microphones the College World Series last year and even yesterday and everything, say all the right things. There's nothing between these guys behind the scenes except respect. That's what it is. I think that's more than anything is what it is.
And I think that's kind of what sparked that heated argument was.
Well, there was something.
Dave probably felt like there was a lack of respect in that moment, but I think that couldn't be further from the truth. I think Vitello respects Dave. I don't know if he was just trying to fire up his team or what he was doing, but if I remember correctly, it was something about a pitcher that maybe was pitched too long.
No, it was a recruiting thing.
Oh, okay.
It was a recruiting thing. It was about a player that they thought was going to be at Arkansas, ends up going to Tennessee. I mean, it's that kind of thing. It really is. There's sometimes coaches that shake hands, on a football field before a game, and they're going to spend 2 minutes around each other looking like they're laughing, and they really do not like each other. That's not the situation with Dave Van Horn and Tony Vitello. I'm not going to tell you that they text each other and call each other every day. Or that they're just colleagues in the terms that they belong to the same coaching association and all of that. But I think their ties go a little deeper than something that can be blown up from what happened behind home plate then, and even competing the way that they do. I mean, Dave, if you're going to be a coach in any sport, and in baseball, certainly, I see this up close, you're going to coach against your friends. You're going to coach against people that either you've worked for or have worked for you. It's a small world, this coaching world that these guys live in. And I don't think it's only just about the wins and the losses of how they treat them, how they view each other. So, look, this is going to be a highly anticipated, hard-fought, I'd anticipate well-played series that's going to have a lot of emotions, and those emotions will come from the coaches as well, but it's not coming from a place of disrespect, lack of respect. I think people will be shouting some things towards the Tennessee bench, towards the Tennessee coaching staff, and you do the same if it's Texas, if it's LSU, if it's Ole Miss, you treat Tennessee the same way. And that's what's going to make it fun.
I'm going to show you in the commercial break, Thomas Tuchel and Conte, they were coaches at Chelsea and Tottenham, and they were doing a handshake after the end of the game, and they were, you'll love it. He's like, look me in the eye. Oh, my goodness. It's fired up over there. This is about five, but when you're talking about handshakes between coaches or managers, this you'll like it.
I mean, look, there were some moments where didn't it look like Dusty Baker and Tony La Russa really weren't all that keen on having a bottle of wine together once the series is over or once the season is over.
I loved watching Dusty Baker get mad. Like it's funny when he gets mad. I don't know why, but because he was the Cubs manager for a while. It wasn't that funny then.
I think it's funny when Lane Kiffin gets mad. He still looks like a toddler. When he starts stomping around, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I had a manager with the Travelers that you never bought when he got angry with the umpires. You literally could never buy it. He was just always way too positive in everything that he did. So he'd start stomping around. The way he was stomping around, we would kind of joke about it. It was like he looked like a chicken, like a rooster, just stomping around. He just did not buy it. In fact, one time I saw the umpire laughing. If you're a manager and you're throwing a fit, or a head coach and you're arguing, I don't think you want the umpire to laugh. I mean, it's going to be great in the stands. People will get a kick out of that, but probably not the reaction you're looking for as a skipper. Here's what we were looking for on halftime today for a Thursday. Brett Dolan joining us a couple hours from now. Brett will be on the call for tomorrow's Arkansas-Tennessee game, because tonight's on ESPN2, Saturday's on SEC Network, so that makes tomorrow in ESPN+. Batter up with Bubba Carpenter about an hour from now, and in a moment, well, how do you think Dudley Dawson's feeling today, Matt? His Celtics not only have a little more life, but boy, they blew the heck out of the Knicks yesterday, so maybe they've got more than just a little life left.
The Knicks are going to Knicks sometimes, but I don't know. I thought the Celtics could just flip a switch and turn it on. If Tatum's out, I think it's.
Is that a situation where their offense may become a lot different with Tatum out, not as ball dominant?
Well, it's just he's such a good player that everybody else in the aggregate has to pick up, and they don't have the depth. They don't, if Kristoff is hurt, they're just they're getting old. Al Horford, bless his heart, he's amazing, but dude's been in the league 20 years. You just can't bend and move the same way. So, and then your young gun, Jason Tatum. If he's out, then he's in my opinion, I think he's a top 5 player in the league.
Well, let's break. We'll ask Dudley about that in just a moment. It's halftime.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years.
Down the line, a swing and a drive into right field. Back going Humphrey. Humphrey's at the wall, and it's gone. Davalon's hit his second home run of the game. Maxwell, a high fly ball to deep left. Could be trouble. Rigdon's at the wall. Get out of here. Maxwell's hit the second home run of the inning.
Listen to every Razorback baseball game on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hungry for a meal that's more than just food? At 46 Steakhouse in Alma, Adam and Brooke Daly are serving up tradition with every bite. Hand-cut steaks, including their massive 46-ounce ribeye, juicy chicken, and hand-breaded catfish. Plus, every meal comes with those famous hot rolls and honey butter that folks cannot stop talking about. At 46 Steakhouse, they're ready to make your family feel right at home. 46 Steakhouse, 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse, where every meal is a masterpiece.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Aline Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
I have enough trouble deciding what's for lunch. Imagine how stressed I was during the home buying process. Thankfully, Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, took the reins.
That's right, Ty. Buying or selling a home is the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. I have years of experience and proven expertise that help guide you through the process.
All my female friends love my house. I'm not kidding either.
Trust me like Ty did to guide you through every step of the way. Call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. Big decisions, simple solutions.
It's almost summertime. That means barbecues, graduations, weddings, and gathering with friends. River Point Wine and Spirits has all your favorite party supplies. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I don't know if you saw Mike Tirico was on a podcast recently saying he didn't care. He didn't like it when the SportsCenter anchors dropped in the teams that they're fans of, which I think I can understand if you're doing a sports highlight show. Sports radio, we're all about our guests' favorite teams. So as we go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline, and our this would be our resident Celtics fan, Dudley Dawson, joining us, who I imagine when you sat down to watch last night's game, it was with the thought that, hey, you're just going to enjoy watching your team for the last time this year. And turns out, Dudley, there's at least going to be one more last time.
Yeah, a little Celtic pride shown last night. Jaylen Brown stepped up. All the other guys did too. You know, it's going to be tough to win 3 in a row. But you don't give up till it's over. And, you know, I would like nothing else than to shut Stephen A. Smith up.
I agree with you. You don't give up till it's over. Who's going to have to step up then other than Jaylen Brown? You know, is it Pritchard? Is it Kristoff? Because I don't know how you feel, Dudley. You watch a little more Celtic basketball than I do, but I think Jason Tatum's a top 5 player in the NBA, so you lose a guy like that. Who do you think is going to have to step up?
Well, I think Derek White is probably going to have to be the guy. He's both, you know, great defensively and offensively. He's had really big games this year at different times when Tatum's been out for various reasons. But I tell you what, if I had to pick somebody overall, it might be Kristaps Porzingis, and I'm not sure he's capable of it. He didn't get to play in the second half last night because he couldn't breathe. He's had some respiratory illness thing, in which he missed 8 games coming down the stretch. It's a walking winded team, but you know, at least last night I got to see him show some pride.
Well, that's good. That's good. So I want to get into Arkansas basketball a little bit here. So there was standing room only at Fassler Hall in Little Rock yesterday for the Razorback Roadshow. John Calipari and Kelsey Music were the featured guests, along with Hunter Yurachek. And Cal, in the post-session media scrum, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, was talking about Boogie, and you know, we'll see. And when I hear we'll see, and I just don't expect that he's going to be back at Arkansas. I expect he'll be somewhere else in the SEC. I know that there's still an outside chance that Boogie comes back to Arkansas, but I don't even know why. Look, I think Boogie's a really good player, but it isn't his position spoken for right now, and you don't need a third point guard, do you?
Yeah, I'm sure you take him back, but I don't know if you can come up with the so-called $7 million or whatever it is that Florida is you know, purportedly waving out there. And Mike Miller, obviously the former Florida star and NBA guy, is his agent, and you know, we'll see what plays all that. If you get him back and he plays you know, I'm sure he would play a nice role, but it really looks to me like he planned on Boogie not being back and went ahead and finished out that roster with guards that he wanted.
Where do you think he stacks up? You know, with Tyler Ziegler leaving from Tennessee, Sears from Alabama, those 2 guys gone, Walter Clayton the 4th from Florida, he's gone. Do you think Boogie can be a top 5 point guard in the SEC next year?
Absolutely. You know, whether he's playing for Arkansas or Florida or whoever. I mean, we saw how good he was at the start of the year. You know, they did make a run without him, and you know, that's a testament to what they did toward the end of the season. But yeah, he's really, really good. And he's a guy that really, at the first of the year before he got hurt, he was being put in these first round of the mock drafts. So I thought he would end up going there, and you know, there wouldn't be any question about it. I think I said that on the show one time. But now, you know, it's amazing, guys. You can make more money at college sometimes now than you can in the pros, and it's nuts.
It's easier on your body, less stressful. You don't have to play in the Chesapeake Bay League on a 2-way contract. One of my favorite players that I think can be a top 20, top 25 player, could be a lottery pick next year, Carter Knox. What do you think? Do you think he goes to the draft this year? Do you think he comes back and he's a Razorback?
I think he's going to come back. I wouldn't be surprised if he does stay in there, but I do, from what I'm hearing, I think he's going to come back, and that money's already been allotted, or put ready for him, I guess, however we want to do it. But he's getting great info. Went ahead and was playing in the combine and stuff, and he'll know what he needs to do. Now, I say that his family has made some interesting decisions over the years with his older brother and all that. So we'll see how it plays itself out. But I do feel like at this point, from what I'm hearing, he's going to be back, and that just makes Arkansas even stronger.
What about Adu? Is it going to be by the end of the week? You hear something that's we're reading some comments he said yesterday. They're looking to get information and other people's input, and sounds like maybe by the end of this combine we'll have a sense of whether or not Adu is staying or coming back, and that's with a month still before he would need to come out of the draft.
Right, and you've got these two guys, the last two we've just mentioned here, who I thought when they announced that Adu would definitely stay in it, but it does appear that he's not looked upon as a first-round guy now, which all the mock drafts had him for the longest time. Now does he come back and maybe try to improve his, in the same type of level he did from the year at Kentucky to the year at Arkansas? These guys have a lot of decisions to make, and again, you trot out whatever money you're getting paid in college and eye it up against what you would get in the pros, and you always want to get there and get that rookie contract, that second contract, as soon as you can, but there's a big difference than getting taken in the second round, early second round, and getting taken in the mid-first round, which I think could be his target goal.
Basketball at college is now, it's different because it's just a 2-round draft, but a little bit in that position where baseball's been for years. Well, you hear coaches say, if we can get this guy to campus.
Well, it's less now because there's not as many Americans being drafted. You go look at these mock drafts, 11 of them. I guess maybe you have some of that from the Dominican in Major League Baseball, but in basketball, 10 of them are going to be from France or Germany. They're not going to be American kids.
Yeah, great point. Croatia is getting a lot now too. France is really coming on, as you were mentioning, with a lot of guys that I forget wasn't it called overtime, that semi-pro thing? They basically were taking high school kids,
called overtime elite.
Portland took
overtime elite. Yeah, you don't hear much about that anymore because that's now college.
It's it's like college before college. It's kind of what it is. So baseball series, we touched on baseball for a moment. Then another big difference is that in baseball's draft, it's not an international draft at all. This series with Tennessee, everybody's pointing out how Tennessee does not hold runners. This guy they're throwing today, Marcus Phillips, he's had 32 steals against him in 36 attempts. That's like almost 3 per game. But if there's one thing the Hogs don't really do very much, Dudley, it's run. But they have been pretty good at picking and choosing their spots. I just wonder if they're going to look to pick and choose spots to run in this series.
You would have to think so against him, Davelin and Aloy and some others. Obviously, Logan Maxwell's probably not going to take off. To try and keep him from injuring himself again. But there's some guys in that lineup, Thomas and them, that you have to take advantage of that. That's a stat. Sometimes they say statistics lie, but that doesn't lie. The pop ratio when he's on the mound to get it to the base, he's going to throw over to first base plenty, but he has to do that. But yeah, I would take advantage of that, and you have to pick your spots, as you said. But certainly you've got to take advantage of that if you can get guys on the base, and that'll be tough against Liam Doyle, but maybe not Marcus Phillips.
What's your view on Dave Van Horn versus Tony Vitello? I got into it in the first segment. I just think it's a made-for-TV thing. I don't think there's really anything there except two competitive coaches that recruit against each other and then every once in a while coach against each other. But I don't think there's a personal thing there. So what's your view?
I think they had that one thing with that one recruit that had a little flare-up and got after each other, and it was great theater and great TV, and it added to the narrative. But I think they totally respect each other. I do think that Tony, even though he's in his 40s now, is like I was as a cocky high school, early college guy that, thought I knew how the world should work and I'd let everybody know it. And now I'm like DV8 in that I'm kind of calmed down and I pick my spots if the strike zones get too wide, I'll get after somebody. But I think it's such a glaring difference in their personality that adds fuel to the narrative.
Well,
I do think they also.
You could probably put them together in that remember that Chick-fil-A golf tournament we were talking about, where you get a couple of coaches that are they did not put Coach Nutt with Malzahn, of course, but you could put Tony and Dave Van Horn together on a pairing, and it would be just great. Here's a pairing that
and I guess that tournament would be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday too, wouldn't it?
It would have to be. That's right. So here's a group. Here's two coaches that I'd like to see them put in a room together with just the two of them and say, all right, you guys start with a handshake and words and then go from there. Brett Bielema, Shane Beamer, because they didn't really seem to appreciate each other in the bowl game.
Yeah. And I like Shane Beamer. He and I had a dust up 2 years ago when I asked him a question in the post game thing that he didn't like, and it wasn't a bad question. It just he didn't want to talk about how Rocket Sanders, how he did. He called me the next Monday and apologized, and I like him, but boy, he can get fired up, and we know Coach B. He's the kind of guy that he's a good guy overall, but he's the kind of guy that if he wants to rub you the wrong way, he certainly knows how.
Maybe there's a little bit of like Tony Vitello and Shane Beamer in each other, just in the idea that I think they get overrun by their emotions sometimes. You talk to Tony off the field, he's mild-mannered.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a cool, chill kind of a guy. But when it comes to coaching baseball, he's as intense as it gets. And you know what? Dave Van Horn's the same way.
He was the calmest guy in that tunnel with Morgan Wallen. When he came out there at Neyland Stadium when he was there. He was the calmest guy out of the four in that tunnel.
Did you hear that, Ty Richardson, the biggest Morgan Wallen fan I know? You can be a Tony Vitello fan now, too. Dudley, let's leave it there. Appreciate you coming on, as always. We'll see you at Baum Walker this weekend.
Sounds good.
You may be covering softball, too. I mean, this is a really crazy weekend coming up. Plus, there's graduation ceremonies at Bud Walton Arena, and you got baseball, and you got a softball regional, and, whatever other cyclists are coming in Northwest Arkansas, because what else are you going to do, right? 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Hotline open for you when we come back right after this break.
You're killing me, Smalls.
This is halftime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple: improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
Hey, Ty Richardson, back in my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria in downtown Fort Smith here with Brooklyn, one of the new gals. Y'all have got a great special on Monday, Brooklyn.
Yes, we have our $3 domestic drafts, our Bud Lights, Miller Lights, Coors Light, Yingling, Shiner Bock, Michelob Ultra, some super cold mugs, and 10 wings for $8.95.
Come on by and see us at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
It's all about connections. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center with Shared Beginnings invites you to their Community Connections event on Saturday, May 17th from 10 to 2. Everyone is invited to a fun-filled, action-packed day with vendors, food, car seat demonstrations, mommy makeovers, giveaways, games, and lots of fun. For more information about this event or to participate as a vendor, call 452-2260. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center with Shared Beginnings, the Community Connection event, May 17th.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Went down over Pompeii. On both sides the bow was broken. Oh mama, I'm the one trying to hide this damage done. One day, all our secrets will be spoken. As we slow dance, I became your statue frozen. Times I wonder, are we just a puff of smoke? Yeah, underneath this bed of ashes, still we're holding everything like we were never close. Don't you worry, babe.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Tennessee played Vanderbilt last weekend, Matt. The second game of the series, which is the same game that the guy who's pitching today started, Phillips. Vanderbilt stole 8 bases. 8 bases. I don't remember watching a team steal 8 bases in a game before. They stole 10 of 14 bases over the series, which, man, if you allow 8 stolen bases, you're not going to win a game. Just you thinking of the guys on the Arkansas team who can steal a base. I think there are guys there that can.
Steals
what's their average? I was going to say, what's their average?
They're last in the SEC. I heard them say it on, I think in the LSU
so
during
like one a game or something. Do they even get to one a game? That would be
Who, the Razorbacks?
Yeah,
no,
they don't get to one a game.
I mean, it's not really. They've got guys that can steal. It's just usually you only see Dave steal when you have the lead. He'll do it if you're up 3-4 runs, middle innings, latter innings, and a lot of times he'll do it when you're down in the count. There's certain situations that he'll run with, but I just feel like in this situation, it's going to be one reason why I think they don't run so well or run too often is because A, you don't really have to very much.
They hit home runs.
They got enough power and guys in the middle of the lineup that should be driving in runs. Right now, not as much. And I think other teams are just kind of good at holding runners now. That they're a lot quicker to the plate than they kind of used to be. And that's why it's not on the Tennessee catchers. It's not on Peebles. It's on their pitchers. It's on Phillips, which I can't even imagine how slow he is to the plate. First thing you got to do is get on base, and then they'll steal a little bit. They get on base early and try to rattle him a little. Get them on your ballpark. You get them on your field, and you get a kid's head on a swivel in the first inning, and the next thing you know, he's done throwing strikes. So it'll just be an interesting thing to pay attention to for this series because stealing bases is fun. Would have been something you'd be really good at, Matt.
Well, I told you that we had a coach. I think that was 7th grade coach, 6th grade coach, and it was the automatic steal signs. And the guy pitched twice, and on his third pitch, he calls time and just walks out there and puts his hands up. And it's like, what are you waiting for? You got let's go.
Just do it already. Come on. Yeah, you don't get the green light just to stand there and wait. And these guys have a green light. They just want to be careful about it.
That season, he gave me the take sign, and man, of course, the pitcher throws one right down, and I swung. I think you only do that one time, because like.
Did it feel like to some people playing youth baseball, little league baseball, maybe high school too, that anytime you got hit by a pitch, you were going to be sent to steal second base? And I always hated that because I wasn't the fastest guy, but I remember. The kid that scared us all in Little League, because he was the first to throw over 60 miles an hour, and he drills me in the ribs, and I tried to hold back, the choking up and all of that because it was a little tougher to breathe at that point. I guess I'm 11 or 12, and then you end up getting to first base, and coach gives you the steal sign. Like, hold on, dude, I can't even breathe. What are you doing here?
One of my coaches in high school, if we had a runner on first with
automatic take
with 1 out or less. You bunted every time, no matter who was the batter. I mean, it was just, unless you're down a bunch of runs, but
it's, you get to a point and growing up around coaches, you can't ask players to do things they can't do. Everything has to be situational.
So you shouldn't have told the slow kid who hadn't hit puberty yet after he got drilled in the ribs, who couldn't, if you're paying attention, coach, if you're looking across the diamond from third base in your safe little coach's box there, you're going to notice that I'm sucking wind. And I can't breathe. Is this out? Does this out matter to you? Does this game matter to you? Or are you just trying to teach me a lesson? Or are you just trying to get me off the field because I'm clogging the bases up anyway? That's about as out as I was ever out. I don't even know if I made it to the base. I probably ran about 2/3 of the way and just gave myself up and said, the hell with it. Here, tag me. I don't want to be out here. I can't breathe.
We had a guy that was maybe 8th grade, 9th grade, and the catcher, he overthrew. They kept stealing. He kept throwing to center field. And so after the game, Pops is like, you know what? Hey, man, nobody stole center field on you today.
He knows how to make somebody feel good. That is the right way to take care of that.
Coaching psychology 101, right?
It's 877-377-6963 for calls and texts here. So Christian and Matt, I told you a moment ago about, you want guys to, in the middle, to be driving in runs. You realize, and this is a bit indicative of where the issues in the lineup may be coming from. So Charles Davalon, who's been the leadoff batter all season long, except for, I think, the first game. Charles Davalon scored in 37 of the first 43 games this year. He'd scored a run, at least one run, in 37 of the first 43 games this season and led the league in runs scored. He was near the top in the nation in runs scored. In fact, he was pretty close to being on a school record pace. He's only scored once in the last 9 games. So where do you think the issues therefore are coming from? Because if he's leading off, well, then you have RBI opportunities for everybody that's after him. Who's been after him? Vahiva Aloy, Logan Maxwell, Cujillo, Brent Iredale. And these are batters that are getting opportunities to drive some runs in, and they're leaving runners on base. And Davalon's at second base quite a bit. I mean, he's been left at second, he's been left at third, and in some situations it's been, hey, just hit a fly ball or just make contact, and we'll bring him in. You don't win big series on a consistent basis if the middle of your batting order is not producing. And they were producing for those first 43 games. Why do you think Davalon had scored in 37 of them? Well, because he's getting on base, one, and other guys are driving him in. Yeah, he's hitting some home runs at that point, but the only run he has scored in the last 9 games was one that he knocked himself in with that 3-run homer against Texas. So in those other 8 games, even in that game, it's everybody else behind him leaving him on base. And to me, Davalon is the guy, or had been the guy, that sort of was the turn of the ignition.
The catalyst,
yeah, but you still need guys to bring him in. If you're going to be the catalyst, well, you got somebody that's actually got to turn the key, and that's got to start getting back to where it was. And we'll always point to, look, you're facing great pitchers, you're facing great teams, you're facing teams that are better than you're going to face in a regional and probably in a super regional too, but you still have to come through against those guys because at some point you're going to face pitchers like that again in Omaha or in a super regional, and you're going to need to drive Davalon in from second base or third base whenever it comes. Specifically earlier in a ball game would be great to get a lead for this bullpen. So just something to pay attention to. That's the whole thing about stealing bases. You know what base rarely ever gets stolen? Well, first base never gets stolen. You can't steal first base unless they're playing banana ball. I think you can steal first base in banana ball. Home plate would therefore be the second most difficult base to steal. Somebody's got to drive you in. You steal a base, you still have to have somebody knock you in. Mm-hmm. So all these stolen bases, all the idea of the steals are what's putting Tennessee in trouble. You still got to have guys that knock those runners in. So Davalon could end up getting a walk and stealing his way to third base. But if you don't get the right kind of contact to drive him in, those stolen bases did not make a difference at all.
How much does that get into their psyche? You know, we watch a football team kind of get a lot of numbers from the 20 to the 20, get a lot of yards, but just can't get it into the end zone, settle for field goals. Does that kind of starts to be like the elephant in the room, right?
I think that there's frustration builds. Frustration builds. I think it's not like looking around and blaming everybody, but right. You're waiting for somebody to come through with that big hit, and then it turns into a here we go again. That's right. I don't think that's where they are. This is not a here we go again. Statistically, still, this team leads the SEC in league games in every single offensive category, including nose hairs. So it's
the best teams at hitting people in are going to struggle at some point in the season. Usually, you don't just keep.
And you kind of wonder what the focus is. Not that you're not focused right now, but now we kind of see what's going on. Regional, super. You're kind of chomping at the bit a little bit.
I think there's been a little pressing. I do think a little bit of you're seeing some like at bats for the Aloys where going after some pitches where earlier this year they were laying off the slider, and in this case, I almost feel like they're in some cases they're never getting anything except that pitch, and so at some point you have to swing at it if it's in the strike zone, and they're getting pitched to much better than I think earlier in the season. So I do think that there's been a little bit of pressing, maybe for Iredale too. There's been a couple cases of chasing, and I think the same for Maxwell. He's kind of been in and out of the lineup because of the hamstring, and I think we've seen. One of the things about Maxwell that's just so great when he was going is his strike zone awareness of his own strike zone and what to swing at and what not to swing at. And I feel like even a little bit of pressing is taking him out of that somewhat. And I think you need a weekend to where you get back to the good feelings of good at bats on a consistent basis. And look, like this last series, LSU, that's the best 2 starting pitcher 1-2 punch that you'll face all year long. That's the best. This series with Tennessee, you don't get that. You get the guy who may be the best pitcher in the league in Liam Doyle tomorrow. The Hogs hit him really hard last year when he pitched against Arkansas for Ole Miss. I think he's a much better pitcher this year, throwing harder. So this one thing I always think about with the teams that I've seen at Arkansas that have made it to the College World Series is that they have still been able to beat the opponent's ace.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of game it's been, whether your ace has outpitched him, whether it was Blaine Knight outpitching Casey Mize or like Isaiah Campbell outpitching Casey Mize or any of those guys that were in 2019 on those rosters, they've found a way to beat those aces. So, and tomorrow you don't know who your starting pitcher is going to be. So it'll be a different situation. It'll kind of be a bullpen game, or I'm anticipating Bindle Cheese. 877-377-6963. Calls and texts on our Lewis Automotive hotline. Quick break. We're back in a moment to wrap up our first hour.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
This is halftime.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one Baby Shad. The original Baby Shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original Baby Shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
This is Dusty Waymeyer with Forge and Fire Waterworks. I've spent 17 years in the pool and fireplace industry, and I'd love the opportunity to get your pool ready for the summer. Mark and Dream of Chris will vouch for me. They're ready for barbecue and outdoor lounging already.
That's right, Dusty. We love the work you've done for us over the last 2 years.
We appreciate you trying to save us money by showing us how to maintain our pool and fireplace.
Call us at Forge and Fire Waterworks, 479-551-4262, and find us on Facebook.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
For 38 years, Mansfield Automotive Park City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle's needs. Keep draining your battery? Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep of your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Park City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. That's Mansfield Automotive Park City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield, open from 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday until 1 o'clock on Saturdays.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with extra rebates for a limited time. Kofer's features low pontoons and fishing boats, Malibu and Axis wake surf boats, Caymas bass boats, and Kofer's has recently added the luxury line of Harris pontoons. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all of your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service is second to none. Plus, they have the best boat storage option in town. Find them online at Kofers.com. That's COPATRS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, providing family fun since 1971.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
You see you are Rosanna, Rosanna. If all that you like you did ever care for me. Rosanna. Since you went away. She's gone.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
C Unit, quick pop quiz for halftime homework. Which Rosanna is this song written about?
Which Rosanna? I don't know many Rosannas.
Yeah, really, I don't know many either. It would be
the Rose of Alabama.
She has a sister also named Patricia, who is also she was in Severance. I don't know if you've seen Severance.
I hadn't seen
on
Severance,
Apple TV. Rosanna Arquette.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Severance, is that Steven Seagal?
That's definitely not Steven Seagal.
Okay.
No, that's an Apple Plus.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Seagal, have you seen the video? And I don't know what this was, but he lives in Russia now. He's a believe he's a naturalized Russian citizen, and he looks like one of the villains in the movies that he used to star in now. I mean, complete with he's got your boy Ryan Black's Just for Men all over his facial hair, and it looks like he might have eaten Ryan Day.
He's got that Tom Waits face. He got I mean, some people you just kind of you see what Pam Anderson's doing though as far as not wearing makeup a little bit. She
Going au natural.
Yeah.
Would be the right. That's how I live every single day. Other famous Roseanne.
I'm like George Clooney, other than I don't look like him, but I don't wear makeup for my parts. You know.
I told you my grandmother once told me that I look like George Clooney. Well, Grandma, you need more new glasses or something? It's like, what do we? Don't even look a thing like him. I've been told I look more like Mo from the Three Stooges.
Your boy George Clooney, or the kid, the man now from Full House. Which one of them has been aging better? Because they both have just been aging gracefully.
Brian Stamos is one
Yeah,
of them,
is
right?
it John Stamos?
John Stamos.
But both of you see him, you're like, man, y'all haven't aged. And then your boy Rob Lowe as well. You're like, dude. And then Paul.
Zac Efron is in that category. He's going to be there too.
Paul Rudd.
Zac Efron will perpetually look like he's 25, even when he's 85. I don't know how he can pull that off. Like Stallone's pulled that off too. What is he, in his 80s now, and he only looks like he's 65 years old, perpetually 65?
I think they're going to come out with an Expendables.
Just don't get
7.
started on the Olsen twins.
Oh, haven't heard from them for a long time. Anybody write song? I think somebody wrote songs about them. Pretty sure.
Talk about aging.
We sure Toto didn't write a song about Roseanne Barr? That's what, or Rosanna Dana? Nah. I'm sure there would be. It's writing about Gilda Radner would work over Roseanne Barr, and then it can just be Rosanna Arquette. Toto, I can get with Toto. That's good for about 4 or 5 songs in the car at any point of the day, potentially, maybe.
Put some Buffett with it, put the Pina Colada song with it.
Little Steely Dan.
Yeah, there you go.
Little Michael McDonald.
Yacht Rock. I'm a one more burn this place down.
That's right. Christopher Cross, all of that. No Morgan Wallentie. Sorry, you're not invited in this car with me. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline.
Thanks for watching us here.
Batter up with Bubba Carpenter, speaking of gigantic Toto fans. And halftime is right back after this.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Come see Cody and the gang on Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find them at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give them a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
This summer, spice up your backyard barbecues and picnic baskets with the House of Webster. From mouth-watering jams to smoky barbecue sauces and gourmet relishes, we've got the flavors that turn summer moments into lasting memories. Whether you're grilling by the lake or relaxing on the porch, the House of Webster brings a taste of tradition to every sunny day. Visit us at www.houseofwebster.com. Tradition, memories, family since 1934.
I love Daniel.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increase in the cloud cover. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 80s. Chance of seeing some isolated showers or thunderstorms tonight, low 60s, and a 50-50 chance of showers and thunderstorms Friday, a high in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repairs. Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
You'll want retention. We got it.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad we showed them at halftime.
What they for one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, we move along into the second hour. Batter up with Bubba Carpenter in about 15 minutes from right now. He was one of the guys we brought up yesterday in terms of the brothers that played at Arkansas.
And he had there's a Bubba Burger somewhere in El Dorado, so I mean he might.
There's got to be a dozen Bubba Burgers in the state of Arkansas, and heck, I mean there's even a company that makes Bubba Burgers. I've got them in my freezer. Now that I think of it, we have to rename this thing to a Charles Burger because Chuck is a kind of meat that you can use for burger, right? Yeah, so why not? That's his name. That's Charles's name. That's what I'm going with today. Open segment here, 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Hotline. And I got to thank Scott, the tortilla guy, with our brother conversation yesterday. He did some legwork. I'd forgotten about, and I guess these are all just executives or scouts that work within the Major League Baseball system. Rudy, Perry, Calvin, and Zach Minisian. I think Perry is the general manager of the Angels. There's another one of them I think is the general manager of the Giants. I think that's Zach Minisian. So there you go. I mean, guys that didn't play the game necessarily, but they're running teams. Gronkowski brothers. I guess I'd heard of Dan, but I didn't hear any of the others. Chris and Glenn, all in the NFL. Did they all make the NFL? I just know of Rob Gronkowski. So if you're the brother of the guy who gets Gronk as his full national nickname, what about the other Gronks? What about the three brothers? Do they have to be Gronk, A, B, C, and D?
They did a party cruise like on a ship, and this was about 6-7 years ago, and it was called the USS TD.
There were Jones brothers, Caldwell, Charles, Major, and Will, all from Arkansas in the NBA. Eric, Mark, Jordan, and Jared Stahl in the NHL. And the Suter brothers, there were 6 of them. Now, I remember watching these guys. Brian, Brent, Daryl, Dwayne, Rich, and Ron Suter. That's all some good stuff, Scott. Very good legwork. Now let's see, Scott, do U.S. senators and Congress members of Congress, okay? We'll take it out of sports. We'll go to politics. All the brothers and sister combinations. Even brother-sister combination would be better. Thinking of the best brother-sister sports combination, would it have to be Reggie and Cheryl Miller?
I mean, she did play in the league, right? I mean, she actually clocked minutes with other, being 9 men and 1 woman out there on the floor. So I don't know any other female that's done that.
I can't think of I'm sure there's something out there, but the Millers have to be, they would be the one that's at the top of my list. Let's go to the phones. Charlie's here on our Lewis Automotive Hotline. I messed with Charlie a moment ago because Steven had stepped outside during the commercial break, and I answered the phone, which Charlie wasn't quite ready for. But Charlie, it's all back. You're on halftime. This is the Lewis Automotive Hotline, and you're on the air.
Oh, we're live now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I gotta try to come at you guys better than I did yesterday. I told you guys yesterday it wasn't good enough. Tuna's going to try to be a little bit better today.
Listeners, just get a set. Some people are aware of this, though, Tuna, some are not. Charlie will self-scout his calls, and he will text us his own scouting report on his own calls. We do appreciate those who are self-aware. None of our listeners on any of these shows is more self-aware than Charlie is.
Well, it's like Matt says, if you're not trying to get better, you're getting worse, right? I mean, you got to try to be better every time, so... that's the goal here. But I think, I was thinking, so Dave came out and announced that Gage was going to start game 3, correct? Or did I read that wrong?
No, that's exactly right.
I know you've probably touched on this, Phil, but I haven't really heard your side on this. We were talking about yesterday, tinkering with starting lineups, and I understand, like, people's idea of like, you don't want to necessarily always do that towards the end of the year. Are you thinking, I'm thinking that it almost looks like it's kind of like and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's like, okay, I'm going to challenge Gabe a little bit. I think he's our day 2 starter. I'm going to challenge him. I'm going to challenge Wood to play a little better. We want to be better in game 3, obviously. But if he goes out there and performs the way he's capable of, then he slides back in. What is your thought process though? Because I don't think this is like, okay, well, yeah, maybe we're opening it up for day 2, but I think Gage Wood is that kind of guy. Like, he's going to start on game 3, he's going to play well, and he's going to grab day 2 right back. That's the kind of guy he seems to me. He's got a little swag to him. I like how he plays. So my question is, or is it also a message? Hey, if there's a day 3 starter on this team, well, you're going to have to start proving yourself in game 2. Because I think game 2 is TBA, right? We don't know who's going to start.
That's what it is for now, but it's been Vital Cheese every weekend when there has been a TBA, and it's just because they haven't used him in relief either of the first 2 games. This series will be different because the TBA is the second game instead of the third. So, I mean, I think would you still put Gackle in as a starter? I don't think they will. because he's pitched very well in relief, and I don't think that they want to. It's not like starting him as an experiment. He's got the stuff to be a starting pitcher. It's just it didn't really work out the first time around, and now it wouldn't be the time to try it again just because it's not an emergency. You know, if somebody's hurt, if you don't have a second starter, well, then I think Gackle would be the guy that gets the call. But in this case, I don't think that happens. Yeah, the thing with Beitelgeuse, and Davis said it, it's like one more inning. You know, he usually when he's stretched out, it's been 4. He only got through 2 innings, 2 of the last 3 starts, and it can't be 2 innings because at that point you're just a reliever that's starting the game. So is it critical? No. I think the bullpen's deep enough, and hopefully you hit enough the last game of a regional, the last day of a regional, or just the last day of this series, so that the length that your starting pitcher goes isn't necessarily the most important thing, that you just scored a lot of runs. And this team's capable of doing that. But I also think Beitelgeuse is capable of going 5 innings. He hasn't walked the world. It's been a couple of mistakes. And unfortunately for him, those mistakes have come with men on base, and they've been hit over the fence. You know, when your issue is allowing home runs, and that's the main issue for Beitelgeuse, 2 or 3 mistakes can be the thing that does you in. So just, you know, by now you'd say, well, limit the mistakes. You know how I feel about this. By the time we're at the middle of May, I think you are what you are. And he's going to allow some runs. He's going to allow some homers, and the guys have to pick him up. They got to score for him.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a team sport, like you say, but I still think, I think Wood's going to play well in Game 3. But I think once you get into a regional, right, you're gonna make a decision based on matchups. You're gonna who you're confident. I think Dave, one of Dave's strengths, and he gets criticized for this sometimes, which I disagree with. I think he understands the psychology of all his teams very well, and he knows how to push certain buttons. I'm not saying he's doing that here with Gage Wood, but maybe in a way he could be. Like, hey, we're going to start you in Game 3, but I know who you really are, and I think Gage will play well in Game 3. Well, anyways, y'all have a good one.
The situation here with Wood, I don't think has anything to do with not pitching well the last start. I think it's simply just to keep him on the same amount of rest. You know, somebody that's still coming off an injury, it's been, a month? It's not like they're handling him with kid gloves, but it just makes much more sense to be on the same rest instead of a day short, because next week, you know, you don't know the day or days that you may be playing. The series will decide all that out. So this isn't how the rotation will look. You know, even once you get to a regional, I think you're at a place where no matter what, you're still starting Root on the Friday and then Wood on Saturday. Now that I think of it, you know, Dave says it's about matchups. Well, then maybe it'd be more about matchups, because I'm not sure if they're viewing in terms of stuff. They're co-equal with Wood and Root. In terms of what you've gotten on more consistent basis this year, Root's your ace. So maybe we'll have a little more to do with matchups. The matchups are not why the pitching rotation is set the way that it's set this week. I mean, Tony's keeping Doyle on Friday so that he stays on the same rest. I don't think there's a matter of a chess match and trying to outthink the other coach because he puts his ace on a Friday that you're going to put your ace on the Thursday and then kind of pitch off Friday. That's not what's going on here. This is just about 2 coaches that are going into a postseason soon, and they want their starting pitchers to be on somewhat identical rest. I know with Phillips, he's been a Saturday guy that's pitching on a Thursday, but I think for them, keeping Doyle on the same rest is just obviously a little bit more important to them. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. I want to remind you about Valley Family Dental, used to be known as Riley Farm Dental. They're at the entrance to Riley Farm, providing every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family, featuring general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, and same-day crowns available as well. They also give you $300 off a snore guard if you let them know you heard about Valley Family Dental on ESPN Radio. You can call them at 226-3500 for an appointment. ValleyFamilyDentalPractice.com is the website. Batter up with Bubba Carpenter right after this on Halftime.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day.
I need to sit, though.
Finally make a putt. Let's go tap in force.
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at Rowback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
.com or call us at 471-1771.
More taxes. Road Chevrolet in Van Buren will pay your state sales tax on select 24 and 25 model Chevrolets. Stop in today and check out the great selection from Road Chevrolet, and your state sales tax is paid. But you better hurry because this deal won't last long. Stop in and test drive your dream car, truck, or SUV and get your state sales tax paid. That means huge savings and more cash back into your pocket. Experience the Roads difference. Road Chevrolet, 2800 on the highway in Van Buren, where you get the best prices, period.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
It's a game day on the Hill, Arkansas and Tennessee tonight, 7 o'clock. You can hear it here on most of these ESPN Arkansas affiliates that you're listening to. And at this time of the day on a Thursday, good to have with us Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter.
It's time to Batter Up with Bubba, featuring Bubba Carpenter.
Batter up.
Bubba Carpenter hits a 2-run shot there that cuts the Phillies' lead to 1.
Brought to you by Sterling Bank, local friendly banking made to fit you. Visit your local branch in Fayetteville, Rogers, or Bentonville to discover the Sterling difference.
I love the horns down. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better series than what we got right here.
Bubba, happy Thursday, happy game day. Got a big one coming up these next 3. How you doing?
Doing great, Phil. How about yourself?
I'm fired up. You know, I'm fired up to be sitting next to you. And all you got to say is Arkansas, Tennessee, and you know you're going to have a very emotional series, usually going to be tight ball games, but they've also, Bubba, been games that, at least while Tony has been the head coach, Arkansas has been the dominant team when these teams have played.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was looking back at the numbers of how many games that we've won and when the last time Tennessee's won a series against us, and it's crazy to think just how much we've dominated them. And, I think it's going to be a good series, Phil. I really do. You look at the numbers, and, offensively, I think it favors us. I mean, I think if you just go off the numbers, you got to love us in this series. Plus, we got the ball marker advantage. So I feel really good about this series going in.
And I know you've talked about Tennessee a little bit. We've had other guests. Bill King has watched some of their games, and they're just not a very fundamentally sound team in terms of, making plays in the field, and it's not just allowing steals. I mean, Tony's had to move fielders around. They've had infielders play all 3 positions, second, short, and third, and that's been recent too. And so it is a team to me, Bubba, that looks like they need their pitchers to strike batters out, and they obviously hit a ton of home runs, and they just kind of have to win through some gorilla ball sometimes.
Yeah, I think so. If you look at their fielding percentage, if you go SEC only, they're fielding .968. That's last in the SEC. They're even below Missouri in fielding percentage. So, I mean, they do kick it around a little bit, and but they make up for it with great athletes, and they hit the ball well. I mean, they're always, when I think of a Tennessee team, I think of a team that hits the ball. I don't think they have the powerful lineup they've had in the past, but they're still going to score some runs on you. You make a mistake and they're going to hurt you. But yeah, I don't think they're the dominant team they've been in the past. Now, you look at Liam Doyle, he's the real deal. I mean, he really is. You look at his numbers, and it's crazy. I think lefties are hitting 141 off of him, righties 147, so he's just not giving up really hits to anybody. So he's pretty tough. But I think, I think the key for us, Phil, tonight, I think if we can get on their starter early and get him out of the game, kind of like we did against Texas, get him out of the game early and get in that bullpen early and score some runs tonight and not have to use a lot of our good big arms out of the bullpen, and obviously get a good start from Zach Root. I think we start the weekend the right way, we're going to be in good shape.
Do you think they'd look at Gackle as a starter again? Because you can't get just 2 innings from Landon Battle-Cheese on a routine basis, and right now going 4 innings has been a lengthier start for him. And the TBA is Friday this weekend. It's the second game instead of the third. I don't know if they're at a place where they'd stick Gabe back in the starting rotation, but I also don't know if it's just right now with Battle-Cheese, it's more a matter of hoping he's going to give you more innings.
Phil, it's one of those things, it's not broke, don't fix it. And Gackle's been so good out of the bullpen. And, to me, outs are outs, but some guys are just more comfortable coming out of the pen. And you look at him coming out against LSU, he was awesome against LSU. I don't know. I think Dave will probably stick with Battle-Cheese and just kind of see what you can get out of him. If you get 3 good innings, great. If you get anything more than that, it's a bonus.
and you got guys you could bring in after him. But going against Doyle, you're not going to have a lot of leeway there. You give up a few runs early, and then you're kind of in trouble, because unless that blister acts up again that Doyle's been struggling with, that's a guy that's going to go 7 innings for you, maybe 8, unless we just have a great approach and can get him out of the game.
I mean, that makes this series just so different, because usually you get the aces thrown against each other, and that's been the case every weekend series. So that does make this a different series, because it's very rare that an ace in Doyle would go up against a team that doesn't announce a starting pitcher.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. So I don't know, but I like the fact, I really think it's important for us to go out and win game 1. And look, Zach Root's been throwing really well. I feel good about it, Phil. And you got with Marcus Phillips on the mound, tonight. I mean, you've all heard about the stolen bases against him and all that, but the guy's got good stuff. If he's on, he's really tough. He's got a good fastball. He's got a really good breaking ball, 2+ pitches. But he's got to be on. And I think the Razorbacks have done a really good job of getting the starting pitcher out of the game. But it doesn't matter who we're facing. We've done a really good job of getting that guy out and getting to their bullpen. So I feel real good about it tonight.
Do you look at these 3 games in terms of what Arkansas needs in order to be a top 8 national seed? Or do you just view this as, just trying to beat a team that is a national power and a defending national champion? And kind of the way I'm looking at it is I want to see Arkansas win games and win a series against the kind of team that they would have to play against in a super regional. And I think Tennessee is a team that's just like that.
Yeah, I do too. And for me, it's about getting to 20 wins. I want to get to 20 wins. So if we win two out of 3, I'm happy. Of course, I'm greedy. I would love a sweep and a chance to win the overall SEC title, but it's crazy, Phil. This is the first time that I haven't put a lot of value in winning the SEC title. Now that it's just one big clump of 16 teams, to me, it just doesn't feel the same. I'm more worried about getting to 20 wins, guarantee we're at home in June, regional, super regional, and then going from there. That's really my concern going into this weekend.
Charles Davalon has scored 1 run in the last 9 games. He had scored in 37 of the first 43 games, Bubba. So you can see that's on the guys that are below him in the batting order. Now, he hasn't been on base as often as he was after that. But if Arkansas is if they're going to get to Omaha, Bubba, the middle of the batting order has to get back to routine production. Not just a game here and a game there, but you need RBIs from the Aloy brothers, from Iredale, from Kojal, thinking of even Maxwell too, and getting Davalon on base is one thing. Bringing him home, that was a key in the first couple months of the season.
Yeah, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Think about the first part of the season. We weren't facing Florida, A&M, LSU, Texas. So, I think it's gotten a little bit tougher. Look at the guys we faced the last few weekends, Phil. It's been grueling, the guys that we're facing, and I don't think Davalon's getting on as much. But you're right. The middle of the lineup hasn't been doing. They haven't had that punch that they had early in the year. But I think it's really the guys that we're facing have just done a really good job. I look at Vahiva Aloy. He's still having really good at bats. I just think teams are really game planning well against him. They're looking at him as like the guy that's not going to beat us. And then Maxwell's been kind of in and out of the lineup. I think that's had a big effect on it. So I think there's a lot of factors going into that, but I still feel really good about this lineup. You look at like Justin Thomas in the 9 holes leading the team in on base percentage, and he's like a true second leadoff man. I know Dave talks about that all the time, but I think he's so valuable in this lineup, getting on. And then you got Davalon, Aloy, and those guys coming up after him. I think that's a really important piece of this puzzle this weekend.
Bubba, let's switch directions here. I want to get your opinions on Rob Manfred's decision yesterday to change the language in eligibility for the Hall of Fame, which now makes Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson and the other Black Sox also eligible for the Hall of Fame. They won't be able to be voted on until 2027. As a former player, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I think it's awesome. Look, Phil, I don't want to get into the weeds, but there's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame right now that did a lot worse things than what Pete Rose did. Now, he bet on baseball, and you're not supposed to. That's the golden rule. You're not supposed to do. But there's a whole lot of guys that have squeaked by the Hall of Fame voters that did way worse things. So I think it's a good time. It's going to be a few years still until they have their next ballot. But I think it's good. I mean, what do you think about it?
I mean, I can look at it from both sides. I really can. I got into it yesterday that the opinions that matter are the ones who are going to be on the committee, the 16-member committee, and you have to have 12 votes in order to get in. 6 of those members will be players, Hall of Fame players. You know, the last time around it was guys like Tony Perez and Eddie Murray and Paul Molitor, Lee Smith, Ozzie Smith were on this committee. And it's their opinion that matter. It's other executives that'll be on the committee too and some media members, but I think you're going to have to get the players to say yes. I mean, they're going to be the ones that will have to vote yes, because if all of them say no, well, then Rose doesn't get in. And I just wonder how those players will view it, you know, because you know what it's like when you walked into the clubhouse. It's right there, big, bold letters. It's the number one rule. And for players that did follow that rule, you know, and it's the same idea as how players that didn't take steroids feel about guys who did. Those are the opinions that matter. And I just, you know, I wondered if ball players view it in a different way than fans do.
You know, I think the players appreciate what Pete Rose did on the field. I really do. I think you're going to get a few guys that are going to look at it and say, okay, yeah. And I think part of it is, you know, Pete Rose, you either love him or hate him. He's kind of polarizing with his personality at times, or he was. But I think you got to look at what he did on the field and say, man, 4,000 hits. He's got to be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion, Phil. I'm obviously not one of the 16 voters. If I were, I'd vote him in. I think what Shoeless Joe Jackson, I think what they did is worse than what Pete Rose did.
Well, throwing a World Series.
It's funny you and I have not talked about this because we talk about a lot of stuff. We haven't really gone into this topic before. I mean, we disagree on we agree on most of the stuff when it comes to baseball. There's a few things, but what do you think? Tell me what you think.
I think it's really difficult to keep record holders out of a shrine. You need to, though, be honest about the story and the facts of the story, right? So if Bonds goes into the Hall of Fame, well, if there's facts that he took something, well, then that should be detailed. And I think it's the same with Rose. I mean, you should detail. If you're going to tell the story of somebody, and that would be in that case, at least on the field, the good and the bad, I think that's probably what would have to happen. Do you imagine what it'll be like in 27 when the vote comes around? Because it's going to come around. December of 2027, Bubba. This will be the biggest topic on sports radio.
Okay, Phil, so what do you think's worse? A guy betting on baseball, a manager betting on baseball, or a player taking steroids?
I thought it was the betting on baseball, truthfully. I thought with steroids, this was an industry-wide thing, and I think in some cases a lot of players might have felt, well, if other guys are doing this, I'm doing myself a disservice by not doing the same thing. It's more of an indictment of the industry of baseball, the sport at that time, and even the people who ran it. With Rose, it was one guy, it was one thing, and even if you're betting on your team to win as a manager, I don't know, that's the farthest step that I can think of.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but you go back to and you talk about Barry Bonds. Yeah, he hit 72 home runs, 73 home runs, whatever it was that season. He was facing. We think we're pretty sure what he was taking.
But he's
I don't
also
know if
facing.
he's even admitted it.
Well, I was always wondered too, and I think you and I may have mentioned this. How many at bats did he have against pitchers that were juicing too, or using something?
Exactly.
So who has the edge then?
because I mean, I know for a fact I faced a lot of dudes back in the day that were taking a whole lot of vitamins that I didn't have in my vitamin cabinet. So yeah, there's a lot of dudes that were out there, a lot of pitchers, and that's something that doesn't really get talked about. The hitters get thrown under the bus a lot, but no one really talks about all the pitchers that were juicing up, because believe me, back in the day there were a whole lot of them. And so it was the thing is, and here's what's funny, Phil, is the owners, they knew what was going on, but they liked it because guys are hitting balls out of the park. They weren't going to do anything about it. And then they all come up and they pretend like they didn't know what was going on. But everyone knew what was going on back in the day. I mean, it was obvious. You look at these guys and tell. But I don't know. I've always been a guy that always thought Pete Rose deserved to be in there. Look, I love the way he played the game. You know how I am, an old school guy. I hate that he betted on baseball, but man, you gotta love and appreciate the way the guy played the game.
Could end up doing 3 or 4 hours on this kind of stuff, Bubba, but we're right out of time. So I'll look forward to seeing you later on tonight, 6:30 airtime. It's going to be a great series.
You bring your A game, Phil. It's going to be fun.
I'll try my best.
Wait, that's all you've got is an A game. My bad. I'll bring my A game.
Be an A- every once in a while. Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter.
Thanks for having me on. Go Hawks.
You got it. Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter is brought to you by Sterling Bank. When it comes to banking, you deserve a pleasant and productive experience, one that puts you first, and you'll find exactly that at Sterling Bank, your community bank in Northwest Arkansas. Every transaction feels personal because they're not just your bankers, they're your friends, and they're your neighbors, deeply committed to the people, business, and organizations that make Northwest Arkansas thrive with a passion for growth and progress that fuels everything else that they do. Sterling Bank is in Fayetteville, Rogers, and Bentonville. They're also online at stirbank.bank. They're invested in you and committed to Northwest Arkansas. Open up the Lewis Automotive Hotline at 877-377-6963. Halftime back in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
The referee looks at his watch, and that's half-time.
This is Halftime.
Old Ford Days action begins Memorial Day, and the Old Ford Days official merchandise is ready for you at Jelco Outdoors. Ball caps, t-shirts, koozies, drinkware, and more. Check out the selection of cowboy hats, boots, shirts, and belts. Hot buys on Ariat and Wrangler jeans. Buy 2 pair and get a 3rd pair free. Plus a free Old Ford Days rodeo cap with purchase. Go to the Old Ford Days Rodeo in style. Check out the Old Fort Days official merchandise at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Sometimes it's over before it begins. To feel all those needles and pins. And before I confess all I know, this was a long time ago. She's making the lights on the stairs. The thing she's lying there. You have to go now before they go wrong. Tonight was a long time ago.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well done, Matt Jones, for killing this spider in our studio here.
Safety first.
How long you think that thing was on the ceiling?
Probably as long as I've had this hat.
How long you think that stain will be on the ceiling? About another 4 or 5 years, potentially.
It'd be nice to have that type of job security to know that I would still do this show in 4 to 5 years.
Well, see, maybe we'll just wipe the stain off the ceiling before the show ends, and then it'll just take care of it. Because that's kind of gross looking at the moment. It's this tiny little spider, but you know the smaller ones are the ones that do the bigger damage.
You seen the movie Looper? Your boy from Dumb and Dumber's in it with Jim Carrey, the other one. And but that's what he's telling them a story about. No, it's the little ones that get you.
Well, the big ones are the ones that scare the heck out of you.
Grandfather know anyway.
It's the big ones with like the 4-inch radius legs and the green glowing shell that scares the heck out of me. But it's the little ones I think they're going to do most of the damage here. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Comparing the steroid scandal to the gambling thing with Pete Rose, this is apples and oranges. I'm sorry, we can't compare these two things. I know that they're the most famous scandals in the sport, so you want to compare these two things, different situations, and we absolutely have to stop pointing to Rose betting on his team to win to justify it, or to say that it wasn't as bad as you think it is. This is coming from the perspective of being a Pete Rose fan. We have to stop. It doesn't matter if he bet on his team to win. It doesn't matter at all. Because
it's one of those things he knew when he was doing it, it was wrong, and really wrong. He just didn't think about it enough, the consequences. But I mean,
sometimes a manager may want to try to make a pitching change, but you got a guy who's already thrown 50 pitches the day before, 2 days before. He's your best pitcher, and you may put him in a position that hurts him, that's unsafe for him, because you put money on that game, and it's more important for you to win that money than it was for your pitcher's health. It's things like that. It's managerial decisions within the game that don't have to be made because you're managing to the bet instead of to your team's season.
When we talk about the Michigan Fed 5-2 Final Four group, when we talk about Pete Carroll winning a Super Bowl championship and a college championship, Lance Armstrong, all his Tour de France. Does it matter with any of those three guys? Like, if you're talking, do you feel any different with, because they all kind of did wrong things as well?
The Armstrong thing, and this is not a matter of somebody like said, well, that's the logic would be exonerating Lance Armstrong. This wasn't a matter of exoneration. I'm not saying that anybody should be exonerated.
No.
You're talking about industries in which people are trying to keep up with the Joneses. These are professional athletes. These are competitors. If you're looking for an edge and you see somebody that's getting an unnatural edge and you're trying to play it down the middle, straight, and be honest about what you're doing. But the other people who are cheating and aren't getting caught are winning all the competitions, hitting all the home runs, and making all the money. I mean, the reason that Bonds even started to take something was because the home run chase in 98, everybody's going all gaga on Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. And I was just telling you this straight up. Like, Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa wouldn't be able to hold Barry Bonds' jock unless they were taking something.
Well, and
Bonds is like, I'm better than them, and then he starts taking something and he turns into the Incredible Hulk.
Go ahead.
Well, you got it, Unit.
I was going to say, when you start putting corks in bats and stuff like
Sosa
that,
did that, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was my favorite player, but once he started doing stuff like that, I was like, man.
What about your boy, the kid? And not to say, hey, kid, but Griffey Jr., didn't he do it the right way? How does it make you feel about him, though? Griffey goes about it the way you're supposed to. I don't know. It just kind of leaves a bad taste.
Absolutely, because
But if Griffey would have taken some, he would have been right. Like, that's natural. So you give him whatever the vitamins that, as your boy Bubba, I liked how he put it that way. You give him Barry Bonds' vitamins, he might have. I mean, his head would have got bigger.
But you think of all the at bats Bonds would have had against somebody that was juicing of some sort, and juicing was there are all these other things guys were taking that were illegal that weren't just steroids. And then nobody has an advantage in that case. Well, all right, so Griffey goes up against somebody who's using something, and he doesn't have anything except his natural ability and that big old butt, because nobody had a butt like Ken Griffey when he stood there straight.
Well, they've been better off just saying everyone can use this.
Pat Bradley.
Everyone can use performance-enhancing drugs. Would that have been better? Like, if they were just...
Well, that's a Daniel Tosh bit where he's like, what are you going to do? You're all going to be dead by 47 anyways. Go ahead and give me my better gladiators.
I'm pretty sure there's a league of some... I think it's like Olympic
sports. They're not as athletic, though. That's the thing. You're taking guys that are Division II or Division III, and then you're saying you want the best of the best of the best. Then that's what you want to see. I don't want to see somebody who's not any good.
Like taking a bunch of slappies, giving them a bunch of stuff to say, here, go turn into some worldwide competitors now. But I did read about this where it's competition that is all based on steroids. I think
everyone wins. You make more money. The league makes more money. It's all about money, right? I mean, it's all about the product you're putting out. But
these two things are not. They're not the same. They're not the same. Gambling on the sport and taking PEDs are not the same. You know, the PEDs. It's not the same thing, but it's a little bit of the similar thing as trying to cork a bat or scuff up a ball. You know, use an illegal pitch, that kind of stuff. Those were also written into the rules. You know, I mean, speaking of brothers, I mean, you had brothers in the Necros. One of them, who was Joe Necro, was caught with an emery board in his back pocket because he was scuffing up the ball.
Hey, your boy George Brett, he was a little hot with a little pine tar on the bat.
Yeah, but that was an honest mistake, and that does. I don't even. What do they even have that rule for?
It was the Mel Blount rule.
Right? Yes. Yeah, change the sport because because George Brett puts 3 more inches of pine tar up his bat than anybody else. The Mel Blunt rule. That's right. 877-377-6963 calls and texts on our Lewis Automotive hotline. And here's we got into the Astros cheating scandal yesterday. Austin asked about the cheating scandal. So once those players now come up for election, Kyle Tucker, Jose Altuve, Bregman, some of the pitchers that were on that team. It's the pitchers. I don't think it wasn't them, that it was the hitters. So then you end up having this conversation all over again. I mean, did they have this conversation when Gaylord Perry was up for the Hall of Fame and he literally made his living on cheating and joking about it? He wrote a book about this, for crying out loud. He threw an illegal pitch for his entire career. And did this ever come up? Was it a matter of lack of respect for the game? Well, there's guys looking for an edge. Look, and I'm not making excuses for those who used steroids. I mean, it was against the rules about 7-8 years after the rumors started coming out that guys are using this. But the number one rule in baseball is don't bet on the sport, and it does not matter whether you bet on your team to win or lose. It doesn't say don't bet on your team to lose. It says no betting on baseball. As simple as that. Back for more halftime. We'll wrap up the second hour. Stay with us.
Show me the money. This is halftime.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
For 38 years, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle's needs. Keep draining your battery? Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep of your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. That's Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield, open from 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday until 1 o'clock on Saturdays.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Attention business owners, are you overpaying for your website, dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95 a month. No hidden fees, no headaches. They write it, build it, launch it, update it, and secure it so you can focus on your business. Ditch the overpriced hassle and go simple. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Matt was telling us about Janai Broome all season long, and then see yesterday that former Florida defensive tackle Desmond Watson, who signed with the Bucs as a free agent, is 6'6", 464 pounds, and had a higher vertical leap than Janai Broome did at the NBA Combine.
Ouch.
Watson jumped 25, Broome jumped 24.5, and Broome's got 4 inches on him, and he's 200 pounds lighter. Which just says two things. I don't know if Janai Broome's going to be in the NBA, and Desmond Watson. Hey, this guy's an athlete, huh?
You're going to be able to see Janai Broome play next year when you go to Japan to see the Land Sharks. He's going to be playing with your boy from NC State. Like he's going to make a living playing basketball. It just won't be in America.
Man, I only thought I was going to go to Japan and watch baseball, but it turns out I may have to watch some Japanese basketball too. Anywhere that they serve ramen noodles and sushi at sporting events, I'm ready to go to it.
You'll practice for at least 2 weeks with chopsticks before you go over there?
I can actually still do the chopsticks.
Still got it.
Pete, who eats sushi with chopsticks? You can eat the sashimi with the chopsticks, but the sushi thing.
Oh, no, that's all you eat. If I go to a Japanese restaurant, I'm always everything the whole entire time I'm using chopsticks.
Do you like to have a jalapeno with your sushi?
It's all situational. You know, if they're fresh, I mean, what are you going to do?
You get a little ginger with it as well, potentially. Something's
You had some ginger earlier.
I did. Thank you for the juice shot. I feel a lot healthier than I did when I woke up today.
That's right.
Got that right.
For vitality.
If I can only find a way to keep my energy for the game tonight, I'm down to 1 cup of coffee instead of 2. It does wonders for my digestion. It's like I always used to laugh at the old jokes of, do you really want to have that second cup of coffee? Well, now at the age of 48, yeah, I'm there. I'm definitely there. 1 cup is good. 2 cups basically ruins the stomach for the rest of the day. But Matt, now I got an energy deficit. I got to figure out a way around this. Maybe the broth or the juice, or maybe you know what gives me a little energy? When there's a spider on the ceiling dangling just above my head, like 10 minutes ago in this studio.
It's a little double espresso with the side of some sparkling water. You'll be okay.
Oh. They serve that in Japan too.
Glad we don't have rats or anything like that.
Well,
yet,
man, that would.
Yet, yeah. 877-377-6963. Craving anything sweet and delicious after lunch? Andy's Frozen Custard has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around, and they're all around our listening audience in Conway, North Little Rock, and in Fort Smith. Whether to cool or satisfy your sweet tooth, Andy's has you covered. Plus a pick 6, mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors. This is the perfect thing to bring home for Razorback baseball on television tonight on ESPN2. That's Andy's Frozen Custard, Fort Smith, Conway, North Little Rock, walk up or drive through, always ready to serve you. And into the third hour on this Thursday of halftime, Brett Dolan joining us about 20 minutes. We are right back.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
It's almost summertime. That means barbecues, graduations, weddings, and gathering with friends. River Point Wine and Spirits has all your favorite party supplies. You'll love our clean, organized store, full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more. Call or text Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747. That's 479-274-1747. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
It's Kubota Orange Days at Gray Brothers Equipment with interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months and reduced pricing on all Kubota inventory. It's time for your new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 6/30/25, see Gray Brothers Equipment or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increase in the cloud cover. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the upper 80s. Chance of seeing some isolated showers or thunderstorms tonight, low 60s, and a 50-50 chance of showers and thunderstorms Friday, a high in the mid to upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair. KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
If a Razorback make a play, I'm jumping around. I'm happy. That's just who I am.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
And welcome back. Halftime rolling on into your 1 o'clock hour, 101 to be exact. This is ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I am Phil Elson in studio with Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston across the counter from us here, Brett Dolan coming up about 15 minutes. So if you want to get with us, now's the time. Lewis Automotive Hotline is 877-377-6963. A text earlier in the show from Andrew, who is planning on sitting in the hog pen tonight. There's a long line. I don't know if it stretches all the way to the corner of Razorback and 15th yet, but it will get there if it hasn't. And this is, to me, it seems like more practice more than anything for the regional, the super regional, in which, I mean, they'll start camping out 2 or 3 days before the regional even starts. So get up there as quickly as you can, because if you want to see the game, well, you got to be one of the first people to get in, or you got to be okay with sitting back on the bleachers that are in the back of the hog pen, which I don't know. Like I've sat back there. You can see the game, but it helps to have binoculars because the players look just a little bit smaller or a lot smaller. Andrew asks about the hog pen. He asks if they think that in the future they'll put seats or a mound to make sure everybody out there can see, because you can't see the game. Have you ever been out there, Christian?
They need some elevation, you know.
Yeah.
They have those bleachers, but not everybody can sit in those bleachers. Yes, I've been out there several times, and there is a problem with, you know, when everyone's standing, if you're not towards the front, yeah, you're right, you can't really see.
Well, it was kind of the point about being out there is I don't think everybody's really like you're watching the game and cheering, but it's secondary. You're having a conversation with your buddy, and I think you're I don't know how nobody's out there in the hog pens got the scorebook keeping score.
No, there's a lot of people out there that literally are just out there to mingle.
That's what I mean. Right?
It's a lot like you ever go to a Travelers game in Little Rock down the right field line, and they've got Hook Slide Corner, that beer garden, which is a lot smaller than the hog pen, but it's a hangout place. It's a bar, essentially. It's just an outdoor bar with a little platform. And before they put the net up there, I mean, it was really dangerous. And people just kind of standing around drinking, hanging out, and not really watching the game. And then every once in a while, there'd be a rocket that would come towards them, and they better be careful. Well, then they put a net up, and it's a lot safer. But that's kind of what it is. It's the baseball game is the backdrop to everything else happening out there. It's an outdoor nightclub that occasionally is open during the middle of the day, which for Saturday's game, as long as the weather's good, and that'll be the last, regular season home game, really the last regular season game, I imagine you get a lot of people out there trying to get some sun. But do you get to a point where it's not that you have problems filling up the hog pen? It's one of the, if not the most popular and or famous seating sections in all of college baseball. I mean, you put that in left field lounge, I think, up against each other, and maybe the student section in right field at Ole Miss, but that's it. But you can't see the game. You really can't. So if you're ever going to expand BAUM, and I don't think we're in a world where they'll be expanding the facilities anytime soon, put some seats in left field, some added seats, like extra 3 maybe sections instead of just grassy berm. I think that would make sense. And then some berm behind it that would be raised above the seats. Because, again, I guess I'm different than some, Matt, because when I go to a baseball game, I want to see the game. I'm not like my dad. My father is a snob with this and refuses to sit anywhere but behind home plate. I'd be perfectly okay sitting in left field watching a baseball game, but I want to see the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you see where Mississippi State's getting a $60 million, practice facility? Yeah. Speaking of schools doing more things, because I thought everybody was kind of cutting that off a little bit. Now that you have to pay the players, is Mississippi State? I know it's just totally different subject, but with them doing something like that, are they considered still the bottom team, in the SEC, or are they considered better than Arkansas?
I would say they'd be below
equals.
I think they'd be below Arkansas.
Yeah, okay.
I do. I do.
I wonder what the national media. Maybe we can ask Brett and see what he says. I wonder what different people, because I know what Arkansas fans, we always think we're better than Mississippi State, and not in an arrogant way, but just like we're going to beat Mississippi State.
You got better facilities. I mean, it's a better stadium by far in terms of football.
Better tradition.
Better indoor facility now too, because they're just about to build their first one there. I mean, Vanderbilt got one before Mississippi State. I don't know the other schools that don't have one. But it would seem to be pretty important to have an indoor facility for any SEC football program right now. So I think they're trying to just catch up with the Joneses. But you're right, too. I mean, you don't hear a lot about new facilities being built. Now, they just did renovate Tennessee's baseball park because they had to. I mean, that really was...
Well, they just won a national title.
But the money was... but it also was... They had to. I think if they wanted to keep Tony Vitello as the head coach, they had to renovate the ballpark. Otherwise, I don't think he would stay there. Who else built onto baseball? Auburn built a little onto baseball. They did a little renovation there, new press box, new seats on the left field fence. So there are some schools that are doing smaller things. But $60 million is not small. But if you're going to build onto Baum Walker, I mean, I don't know, construction costs are pretty crazy. But what did it look like in 3 to 4 years? And the other aspect I feel. And I think it might have been Jordan Wright that tweeted this yesterday. Any sort of added construction to Baum Walker probably includes suites, because there's still a waiting list for suites, and they just added new ones. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. With the Hunt Center in right field, there was this whole seating section that was added to that as well. So they're just going to add. They won't have a problem selling the seats too, but it changes the atmosphere a little bit in left field, I guess, if you're just putting seats there, because they changed the atmosphere at Mississippi State, Matt. I wish, I got to the old Dudy Noble Field once, and I've never experienced anything like it for baseball. Just walking around the area past the outfield fence, the left field lounge, which I didn't even like calling left field lounge because it was the entire outfield. I mean, it was right field, center field, and left field. There's nothing I've ever experienced in any sport like that. And so they build a new ballpark, and it's this beautiful, grand ballpark that they refer to as the Carnegie Hall of college baseball. And it's still a great atmosphere, but it's not the same. It doesn't, I mean, it looked like an auto dump past the outfield fence, but it was all the crushed cars were stacked on top of each other in such a way that you could grill a bunch of sausages and hamburgers on that too. I've never seen anything like it. And obviously you can't redo it, but what they did at Mississippi State isn't the same. It's cool, but it isn't the same. So the thing that I think I'd like to see if you do change anything in Ballman left field is to at least, you're going to have a giant grass area for people to go hang out and drink and not pay attention to the game too. Because I think that people do like that aspect of it. Going and hanging out with your friends and not paying attention to the game. But knowing that when everybody else around you is screaming and jumping and yelling, you can do the same thing and fit into. I guess that's like any other nightclub, which I don't go to very often anymore.
When's the last time you've been to? I bet it's been 10. Who knows? It's been over a decade since I've been into a club. I'm 42. Felt so old. I had to be like 32 or 30. It's like, and you're just like, whoa, no thanks.
Yeah, no.
Like the kids look 16, 17 years old. I guess they're 23. I don't know.
I stopped guessing years ago. As far as I'm concerned, everybody's 26 now.
You gotta get off your parents' insurance.
That's right.
That's a great way to look at it.
You get on to college, now you're 26. It just makes it a lot easier for me. I stopped guessing. 877-377-6963, our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Just a moment, we'll have Brett Dolan joining us. Stay with us.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
If they throw you out for standing up for the national anthem, then you shouldn't have been
in
there
a booth.
Place.
In the booth, you're going to stand up in the booth.
Well, I'm not ashamed to be an American.
No, we're just ashamed of you.
Weekdays from 9 to 11.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
And hitthatline.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of perfection at 46 Steakhouse in Alma. When you're craving a perfectly prepared hand-cut steak, 46 Steakhouse delivers a big flavor with every bite. Every meal starts with their famous hot rolls with honey butter. From burgers and sandwiches to steakhouse salads, there's something for everyone. 46 Steakhouse, located at 108 Highway 71 next to Harps in Alma. 46 Steakhouse, where every meal is a masterpiece.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Spring is here and the grass is growing fast. Upgrade to a Hustler Zero Turn. Hurry in for the Hustler sales event at WT Equipment. With Raptor X models in stock and savings up to $1,700 off MSRP. Plus, qualified buyers get 0% financing for 42 months on select Hustler mowers. These deals won't last. Visit WT Equipment today or shop online at WTEquip.com. Qualified buyers with minimum purchase, other restrictions apply. See dealer for complete details.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Is your business's IT infrastructure secure? At Dixie Digital, we provide comprehensive managed IT services to ensure your systems are running smoothly and your data is protected. Combine that with Xerox, Brother, and Epson reliable printers and copiers, and you've got everything you need for success. Call us today at 783-6600 to learn more about our IT services and special offers. Dixie Digital Imaging, your trusted partner for IT and document management.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
You're still under my skin. I'm miles away, but you're still under my skin. I'm miles away.
Make sure sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline. We got Brett Dolan here with us on Halftime. Game day on the Hill, Brett. You got Arkansas, Tennessee. 3 big games over the next 3 days. Should be really fun. How you doing?
Doing great. Yeah, 9 games potentially this weekend between softball and baseball. So with graduations going on at Bud and bat and ball sports and down the stretch, should be a lot of fun this weekend.
Yeah. What's at stake for Arkansas? Do they already have a national seed? Do they need a number of wins to do it?
I think 2 out of 3 is more important than it has been in previous weeks, only because we get down to the point where there's not a ton of games remaining, and I hate to put too much stock in the SEC conference tournament. It's not an exhibition, but to me it doesn't feel quite as relevant. But I guess if you go into that needing to win a couple of games and you have to push it a little bit, I feel like maybe that it might hinder you the following weekend in a regional. So I would say winning 2 out of 3. They should be comfortably in. I know we focus a lot on losing 4 out of 5 series as close as we are to the Sun, but when you pull back and you look at the RPI and the strength of schedule and the total wins and the SEC wins, they're all really good, but boy, 20 wins would be a big round number.
Yeah, it would. Tennessee, are they just like a swing from the heels kind of a team, strike them out kind of a team? Because fundamentally, it seems like they may be one of the worst teams in the SEC while still being really talented.
Talented and dangerous, and you probably aren't too far off. I do think you obviously construct your team to your ballpark, and if you're going to try and win games in Knoxville, you're going to have an aggressive team that can pop some home runs and score runs in bunches. I don't know how the wind will play this weekend at Baum Walker with the weather and whatnot and rain, and will it be home run friendly or will they just play even? They do get a ton of their runs via the long ball, and kind of keeping this team restrained and obviously winning game 1, I think, is another important aspect with Doyle going in game 2. But, I mean, it's there. They're probably in a similar feeling as Arkansas, though, wondering if they do have as much talent as they think they have, why have they not been able to win a few more series? And you play good teams. And obviously for Tennessee, I know that they want to kind of turn this thing around a bit and stay very much in that hosting scenario in the top 16 while Arkansas is trying to stay top 8.
Who's the best team in the SEC right now?
That's a great question, isn't it? I mean, it feels like we could have this conversation every week, and it ebbs and it flows. And I almost had this internal conversation with myself the other day where I'm like, you know what, maybe I need to back up from this because, you react to what happened last weekend, and you say, well, it's got to be Team X because they did X and Y. But when I watched LSU lose a series at A&M, and then A&M really coming all the way back to being in the tournament gets swept by Mizzou, I thought, I'm out. I got to back up from this because you're playing good teams and baseball happens. It's a great question. I don't know if I'd react and say LSU or Georgia. I won't pick Texas. Let's say that. I just felt like maybe they had peaked a few weeks ago, and obviously losing their ace and trying to get their best hitter back is all factored into that, but I don't think it's Texas. Let's say that.
Well, there is no juggernaut like we saw last year, where it was obvious. It was Tennessee, and there was no two ways about that. I don't know if I could pick anybody. I don't know if there is a best team in the SEC right now. Even Dave says, and I think he's right, there's really not a lot of difference between 1 and 8. But of course, somebody wins a championship, so you point to them. But I don't really know if there is a best team.
No, and you can do the same thing at the big league level. We had this conversation at the end of April in Major League Baseball, and you say, well, who are 2 teams that aren't playing really good or may not have good seasons? You might say, you know what, how about the Twins and the Cardinals? Well, the freaking Twins have won 10 in a row. The Cardinals have won 9 of 10. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, they looked to be middle of the pack, and now they look much better because of the recency bias. The only thing I think that you have to dig in on, and I still don't know if there is an answer, Phil, when you talk about winning series versus losing series, regardless of the opponent or where it's at, there do seem to be a couple of key moments in games that sweep or flip series. And Arkansas has not won some of those critical moments. They didn't win it late Friday night or Saturday morning at LSU. They didn't win it when they had a chance in the 11th inning at Georgia. And Game 3, there's just a few of those moments that can flip a game and flip a series. So did you not overcome those obstacles and win those moments because of, again, the randomness of baseball or the opposition you're playing? Or is there something that you're lacking in those key situations that might come back to haunt you in a regional or super?
Yeah. I mean, it's the thought of, it's a really talented team. Things go in there, the ball bounces the right way. You get the right kind of matchup. You get a little lucky in a certain circumstance that they certainly do have what it takes to go to Omaha and then, I think do something really, really memorable while they're there. It's just, and even Bubba pointed out to it recently, is that the teams that they've been playing of late that were playing really well, Florida, A&M, thinking of LSU, the sweep over Texas is the one that shows me, yes, they've beaten a team that has maybe what it takes to win a super regional after winning a regional. It's just at some point you want to feel like you're beating teams on a weekend that you'll face in a super, that you face in Omaha. They did that against Texas. So that's why I've got confidence going into not this series against Tennessee, but in the postseason, that they can beat the good teams. South Carolina, not a very good team. They swept them. Sweep Vanderbilt. Hey, Vandy seems to have figured it out since Arkansas took 3 from them. Ole Miss, you took 2 out of 3 from Ole Miss. They're slumping right now. The sweep over Texas is the thing that I'm taking with me for the time being.
I think that's probably the way to go about it because Arkansas came in. They got good starting pitching that weekend. They had obviously timely hitting. Everything worked in conjunction with each other to produce 3 wins. And really, I think 2 or 3 pretty dominant wins against a team that had played as good a baseball as anybody in the country coming in. So it's there. And honestly, Phil, we talk so much about the importance of facing teams in the super. And mentally, I'm kind of already advancing to the super, and I know that's really dangerous to do so. I don't even care if they're on the road if they go to an ACC team. I don't want them to be a 9 seed and have to go to another SEC team because, again, while this team could easily go win a super regional on the road, that's where you'd love to have the opportunity at home. But, even though that we're getting down to the bitter end, there's still a couple of key games out there, and obviously for Arkansas, I think for both teams, obviously they'd really both love to win this series for just a little bit of momentum and be able to put it neutral just a bit in Hoover. But there's a level of impact in everything as we look at the win totals and rankings.
I got to ask your opinions on Manfred's decision yesterday. We talked with Bubba about it about an hour ago. It's been a big topic, obviously, and you've been around the game in the minors, the majors, college, been around guys that I think have strong opinions about this too, and I wonder what yours are.
Well, it caught me a little bit by surprise just because, obviously Rose has been gone for a few weeks. I spent probably 40 minutes on the phone yesterday with one of the 16 members who will be on that committee in December of 2027. And, they obviously don't want to talk out of school too much, but I was kind of probing for just some thoughts and some insights. I don't think it's a lock that he gets voted in December of 27 for induction in 28. You got to get 12 of the 16 votes. And the one thing this committee has shown the last time through, there was no leniency for steroid users. If anything, they smacked them down pretty good. And to me, betting on baseball is far worse than using steroids. If I would have been a player during that time frame and they weren't testing and everybody was doing them and I was falling behind, I was coming off injury, would I have been tempted to use them? Maybe. Would I have bet on baseball? Hell no. And so I think there is an element to that people are going to have to dig with. And I think if Pete has anything going in his favor, it's because he's no longer with us. It's been 40 years removed from his transgressions. Maybe time has been served. But I do feel like betting on baseball is much worse than steroids, and this committee wants nothing to do with steroid users. So if they put Rose in for induction in 28, but Bonds and Clemens and others aren't close, is there any justice in that?
Right. That's an interesting way to look at it, too. I try to, separate these two scandals, I guess would be the right word, from themselves. You remember Rose as a manager, and I forgot who brought this up the other day. I was reading about this, and you look at some of the players that came up when he was the manager: Eric Davis, Barry Larkin, Paul O'Neill, Chris Sabo, I mean, guys that were the cornerstone of a World Series champion that only became a World Series champion the year after he was banished from baseball when Sweet Lou Piniella was the manager. You know, and we had people text in that say, well, you got to separate him from player and manager, but he was also a player manager for 2 years, at least 2 years. So, I mean, when you look at it there, he did both things at one point, which it's just the most tragic story in baseball history, Brett. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I tweeted out a picture when he passed. It was Pete with my 2 kids, and my daughter was quite a bit younger. And I said 4,256 hits and one very complicated legacy, because we know what he did on the field. And you can make the argument that Bonds is the home run king because of using steroids, and Rose is the hit king not because of any inducement or anything he put in his body. But you still know the ramifications of betting on baseball. And I know there's always the conversation that comes up, well, he was betting on his team to win. Well, when you're betting on your team to win 4 days in a row, and you don't bet on your team on a Friday night because you're giving your star a night off and your pitcher is under the weather, that tells everybody that you think your team's not going to win that night. So whether you're betting on your team to win or you're choosing not to bet on your team, everybody can read the tea leaves. And it's such a massive transgression. The only thing I think, if I was Pete's lawyers, I would say time served. That's what got Manfred to take him off that list. He's paid his due. Now it's time to reward the player, not necessarily the legacy. But it's not going to be easy, because you're still going to get 12 of 16 people a couple of years from now to be able to say, yep, we're willing to do that and put him in.
I'm half tempted to put you on the spot and ask which of these players you were talking about of the 12 of the players that are going to be on this committee, but I don't want to do that. I'm very interested to find out who that was, but I won't put you on the spot for that. But I do want to ask, give me a thought on softball for this regional. Are you going to make it through?
You know, they didn't get a great break with Oklahoma State coming to town. I thought it might be Nebraska and Jordy Ball, who could be the best player if it's not Bree Ellis in the country. Regardless, the one thing, Phil, that they do differently in softball that they don't do in baseball, that is a challenge in a regional. We know in baseball, when you win game one, you get that Saturday night 1-0 game in the winner's bracket. In softball, when you win, that's the first of 3 games on Saturday. So Arkansas is playing Friday night. Hopefully they don't have any weather issues. If they win, they have to turn around and play on Saturday game 1, and then if they win, they're in a good spot. If you lose game 1 on Saturday morning, say to Oklahoma State, then there's the elimination game that follows, and then you go back and play a second game Saturday night against the team that lost or won the elimination game. So you don't want to lose that first game on Saturday. And if you have to go through a weather delay and you have to play until the end of time and turn around and play on Saturday and try and come back to the loose bracket, it is a long, long road. So I hope that their pitching will give them their best weekend. I'm still concerned there may be an arm short, and that's always a question mark in these situations where it gets wrapped up. But this may not be Courtney's best team, but I think it might be a team that has the best chance to get into a super regional, at least in a few years, and I hope they get that opportunity.
Brett, always appreciate your time. Thanks. See you at the ballpark. All right. Brett Dolan with us Thursdays on Halftime on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, which we can open for you now for the remainder here on our home stretch, 877-377-6963. Got another phone number for you. This is for the fence man. If you're looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong, 479-782-3936. Also online at thefencemanAR.com. You can get a free quote either online or by calling their phone number. The Fenceman builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security, and they've been serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years. TheFencemanAR.com, 479-782-3936. The Fenceman ain't afraid of no work. And we're back in the home stretch of halftime right after this.
I'll be back.
This is Halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Take that all day. I need to sit though. Finally make a putt. Let's go tap in pars.
Golf is back. Shop polos, hoodies, and Q-zips at Rhoback.com.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Bet online. The game starts here.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was on fire for you. Where did you go? I could die for you. How could you not know? I was alive with you. You brought in the was I feeling that you wish I never met you? Starting to regret you. My heart just dropped. Thinking about you. Just stopped.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I want to remind you we are live at the Stadium Shop tomorrow right next to Baum Walker Stadium. So get out of that hog pen line and come see us. We'll be there 11 to 2 for a live edition of Halftime. First 25 people to make a purchase will get a free Razorback pint glass. They had Tuck Vex's stuff. I don't know if there's any whatever Tennessee stuff, but you never find anything more Razorback than the Stadium Shop anyway. And it's Halftime live at the Stadium Shop tomorrow from 11 until 2.
And it might be New Music Friday. You know, Roger. He might have another.
Oh yeah, Robert's got the. Who was it that he played for? I forget who it was he played for us last. He asked to play, and we actually thought it rocked pretty good. Also tonight, see if the Legacy commits to Arkansas. J.J. Andrews will be making his announcement tonight. Sean Andrews.
You know, you're getting a kid. If he goes to Arkansas, Phil, because when they say I know his daddy, like I know I know Sean, and I know how he's raised. So you're getting a first class individual as well. You're getting somebody who knows right from wrong. Not only a great athlete, but he's going to be a great person off the court as well.
He's a 2026 incoming freshman choosing between Arkansas, Missouri, or LSU. So. Hey, we'd love to see the Legacies commit to Arkansas, but we know that isn't always the world you live in.
You know, if there would have been NIL, I wonder. You know, Houston Nutt, biggest recruit in my time. You know, when they went and got Sean Andrews out of Camden, he back. I don't know how much he played in high school. You know, but he stepped on campus in the very first day. He was the best player on the team as a true freshman. So you know the bloodline, the lineage, the athletic ability. You know it's there.
You ever do one-on-one with Sean? Basketball.
So I saw, we played some hoop with Sean. You know, Jeb Huckabee and Sean Andrews went rolling around on a little tiff one day. You saw the Mississippi State linebacker that I still think he's on the ground. You know, that's a pancake block for sure. But yeah, you talk about footwork, and if you want to be an offensive lineman or you want to be good at any sport, really, you got to have good footwork. And that's one thing that Jason Peters had, but that's one thing Sean Andrews, man, he was just twinkle toe, the ollie shuffle drill, all that stuff. I mean, he's blessed. I mean, he's a natural athlete, and you don't get there by not working at it, which you got to work at it to get there, but he's definitely blessed.
You think linemen can dance? Because it's basically a dance anyway that you've described as it. You're going to take dancing lessons with an offensive lineman, you're going to find somebody that can probably dance quite a bit.
Man, any of my offensive linemen, if they're in 7th grade, they're playing basketball. That's just, if I have a 7th grade, 8th grade night, whatever, you're going to play basketball in those formative years when you're younger. Now you get your senior year in high school, maybe you don't want to play I get it. You don't, but as far as to help you, what you can do, and if you want to be great, gotta play multiple sports. Don't just play one sport.
And to work on the footwork too, is thinking of a thing that Arkansas baseball may be trying to do here with this Tennessee series is stealing bases, and just the extra little couple of inches you can get on a lead just can make the biggest difference between out and safe. And if this Marcus Phillips is as slow to the plate as it seems to me, we're gonna be checking out the Razorback runners' footworks in ways we haven't had to all year long. That's the last thing on their mind is stealing bases. Because why would you when you've got so much pop in the lineup? And I have a sense they're going to be going after it quite a bit. I wanted to, did you see, the president's been in the Middle East, and the Saudis had for him an FOMMU, which is an anagram for a fully operational mobile McDonald's unit. And, we've had other presidents that are huge fans of McDonald's. Trump's not the only one. Bill Clinton, I think, was famous for, hey, he loved McDonald's. I still remember the Phil Hartman SNL skit when he's on a jog as Bill Clinton, and he jogs into McDonald's and starts eating other people's food. But a fully operational mobile McDonald's unit, I guess it's a vehicle that just pops out a Big Mac anytime that the president asks for one.
It's like your boy Warren Buffett. He said he eats at McDonald's every day.
Well, he doesn't need the mobile unit. He
He's
just
got a
drives right
lifetime-
to it.
He's one of the few Golden Arches members. He's got a lifetime free. Anytime he wants to go to the McDonald's in his hometown, because he still lives, right there in the middle of the middle of America. I think
it's Omaha.
Your boy Adam Duritz has a song about it. That's right.
So he's got a card, like a lifetime McDonald's free card.
Could you eat McDonald's every day? Like, would it
There was
be
a movie about that. It
would
didn't
be
go very well for that guy.
Would it be the breakfast you would eat, or what
That's
would you?
got to be the most unhealthy thing to eat on a daily basis.
Every day with 2 Big Macs every day. How long do you think? How many days in a row do you think you could do
it? 1.
Could you do a Reggie Miller? Could you get to 31?
2 maybe.
You want to try an experiment? C unit.
I'll at the end of the show, I'll swing by McDonald's, get a Big Mac.
No, not now. We need content for July.
Okay.
Because I'll be more interested in that than I will SEC Media Days. So yeah, that'll be great. It'll be a great. We may be looking for a new producer in August.
Yeah,
if it's food related, I'll give it a shot.
I can't let you do it with good conscience, unit.
Right. Yeah. You got Matt's bringing me health juice shots and bananas, and bone broth for my health, and we're going to encourage you to eat McDonald's for an entire month.
As long as you can name all the 4 Beatles, you don't have to do it.
Okay.
You want to try it right now? Go for it.
John Lennon, Ringo Starr, George Harrison, and Paul McCartney.
See, all right, it's very good. So that happened about once a month.
I think I've finally gotten to where I can.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about. Well, doesn't Trump have a Diet Coke button, or is it a phone in the Oval Office on the Resolute desk? I think there's a button that he'll push, or a phone that he picks up, and someone walks in with a Diet Coke. So when you have a job that big, you don't want to be sending people after it. You want to have your own mobile unit.
Didn't he feed like a team
Alabama.
all McDonald's burgers?
Was it? I think it was Clemson
It's
after
the Talladega Ricky Bobby story when he's like, I've been slaving over this for hours, and it's Taco Bell, it's McDonald's, it's Domino's, and Dr. Pepper. Yeah,
I remember that. I think it was Clemson football.
Yeah.
The second national title under Dabo.
Dabo.
Yeah, and it was all McDonald's burgers, which I'm not sure if those guys eat it on a regular basis, football players, but they'll look at that and think, "Oh yeah, give me more."
At that age, though, you
can eat anything.
It was the student discount card up there for the Wendy's, where you'd go get on the value menu. So there'd be 89-cent, 99-cent options, and then you still got a student discount. Man, you'd go in there and get 17 things.
And the biggest thing when the chicken McNuggets were invented, when you could start eating
you don't
chicken
want to know
and
what's in those. Ooh.
Well, back then it was a different cut of the chicken, if it really was even a cut of the chicken. It was darker than any meat you've ever eaten in your life. Seeing it, like look up at the sky. It's pretty dark outside our studios right now. The chicken meat in the old original chicken McNuggets was darker than the streets. So if you think you're not eating meat now, which you probably are, you were not eating meat then.
It's meat. You just don't know from where.
It's beyond meat.
Yeah.
It's the mystery of meat. It's the kind of thing that you need Agatha Christie to figure out for you. 877-377-6963 to get with this here. You see, so all the streaming services, one of them just went back to a name that they were called before, HBO. HBO started with, now this is one of the original cable channels, HBO. We used to always have the joke, do you have HBO? Yes. You have horrible body odor? That was a 6-year-old joke. Still is. But now, when they were streaming, first it was HBO Go, and it was different from the HBO app. And then it becomes HBO Max, and then it goes to Max. And now it's going back to HBO Max, which I think everybody knew what it was that they were doing, but I just think to myself, pick a name for crying out loud by now.
They had speaking of burgers, Saved by the Bell, meet you at the Max. Man, those were some good burgers right there.
At the Peach Pit? Was the Peach Pit Saved by the Bell? Yes, it was. What was the place they all hung out in 90210?
Oh, I never.
Maybe that was the Peach Pit.
Yeah.
I did watch 90210. Not in high school, but I did in college. The Peach Pit, which show, Ty?
90210.
90210. Okay, so what was the place they all hung out at Saved by the Bell?
The Max.
It was the Max,
Yeah,
okay.
That's it.
Okay, good. The Peach Pit was 90210. and the Max was Saved by the Bell. There's good things to remember here.
I've never seen what is that, like Brian Austin Green, and then I've never seen a second of 902.
Jason Priestley.
They do the Seinfeld episode where he has to go to the police station, and they're like, "Oh, have you watched this?" No, never seen it. Never, not one time. Then they all end up watching it.
Oh, come on, Shannon Doherty. You'd have watched just for Shannon Doherty. I watched just for Jenny Garth.
I was more Dawson's Creek at that age. Like I watched Dawson's. That would have been one of the ones I liked. Who was that? Or the girl that married Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Never saw a single episode of Dawson's Creek.
Well, you didn't miss anything.
I was too busy watching reruns of 90210 for Jenny Garth purposes and only Jenny Garth purposes. Back in a moment. We'll wrap up halftime here on ESPN Arkansas and the Hit That Line Now app.
This is halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street at Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Aline Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their ham-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Cold feet, wet floor, sunlight through the front door. My head hurts, my back aches. Mom calls as my voice breaks. She asks me how I'm doing, and I say I'm fine. Burnt toast, milk spread, stub my toe on the doorstep. My cat's lost, my key's gone. My neighbor mows at the break of dawn, and they ask me how I'm doing, and I say I'm fine. They say the minor inconveniences are part of the experience of life. And these minor inconveniences are part of the experience of life. Stranger.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I love how resourceful so many of our listeners are. We have a text out of the 479 that has told us about a fellow named Donald Gorski. And then he sent me a link to a story in the, the Houston Herald wrote about this. Mr. Gorski owns the record for most Big Macs eaten in a lifetime. He has been eating 2 Big Macs a day for over 50 years straight.
I bet he owns other records as a result, too. Man.
You want to see a photo of the guy? He's right here. Look at him. He actually looks like a regular old weirdo. Just a regular old guy you see in a McDonald's, just like anybody else. His haircut is interesting. Looks like he's got a Big Mac haircut.
You're going to do that, shouldn't you, almost have to exercise? If you want to stay like
No, you probably just lean into it.
You just do it.
Yeah, just lean all the way. It's a Bill Gates haircut. That's who I thought it was. He looked like kind of a Bill Gates with Down syndrome. Maybe that's why he went full McDonald's on him.
This goes back to May 17th, 1972. I like full McDonald's. That's good. 2 Big Macs a day, every day, since May 17th, 1972. The article says he's eaten more than 35,000 Big Macs.
How do you not get burnt out on it, though? The taste of it.
This is the happiest guy on earth.
He is. He does look happy.
Look at the smile on this guy's face as he is eating his 17,222nd Big Mac.
If I had steak every day, I would get tired of it. Every day of my life. Yeah.
Well, it's just a mix of flavors on the Big Mac, obviously, that keeps him happy. How do you pull this off, though?
That Thousand Island dressing.
That's not Thousand Island dressing, Matt. Yeah. That's a mystery sauce.
It is a weird, it's close to that. It
Are you going to ruin the experience for everybody out there?
No, man. It's
Everybody's been wondering for years, what is that flavor when I bite into what is that thing? I just can't describe it at all.
That's how I like to eat my food. Just kind of
don't even know what's on it.
Yeah. Mystery flavor. Mystery meat, mystery flavor. That's right. Go along with your mystery chicken, Seaburger movie unit. Oh, boy. 35,000 Big Macs? I like a Big Mac. I don't like 35,000 of anything. He says, I love this article. This is my favorite article of all time. Quote, "There's nothing to make me want to use a stove ever," unquote. So if there's anybody that ever needed a mobile, what is the term here that the Saudis had for the president? Fully operational mobile McDonald's unit.
That's a lot of money.
This guy, Donald Gorski, doesn't need one because his stomach is a fully operational mobile McDonald's unit.
He probably spends $2,000 a month on Big Mac.
He's probably got some type of reward system. Now, his body will have to be donated to science when he passes on, right? Because we're going to have to understand if he really is from America or not.
I think it's a good idea, probably because there's
this planet.
We need to go through the Guinness Book of World Records and find the person who ate the most Little Debbie snack cakes too, because you could leave that thing out. Even the great value ice cream bars, those things they stay intact for days if you just leave them out there. Yeah. We need to study the people that own the records for eating all of these things, and we will live a very long life, Matt. But until then, you know what I think. Me before you.
That's how. What are we going to do? It's going to be a close race. It'll be neck and neck. That's for sure.
Be a great series starting tonight at Baum Walker Stadium, Arkansas versus Tennessee. We're on the air at 6:30. Weather looks good. 7 o'clock first pitch. And then tomorrow, Matt Jones and I are at Stadium Shop.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
So we're there 11 to 2 tomorrow. Come out and see us. We'll be right there at the front of the parking lot, shaking hands, kissing babies, and trying on hats.
The weather should cooperate. I know last time we were up there, the weather was absolutely perfect.
The weather will be great, and I want folks from the Hog Pen to come over and see us tomorrow, as long as there's somebody to save your seat. Because if you don't have anybody to save your seat, there are people that are going to cut in front of you there. So, yeah, your seat's the more important thing, but then coming over to talk to us will be second most important. Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a few minutes. We appreciate your calls and your texts. All the show highlights on the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast coming out shortly. It'll include our talks with Dudley Dawson, Batter Up with Bubba Carpenter, and with Brett Dolan. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at the Stadium Shop. So until then, get up, get out, and get better.